what's going on? Wanted to do a quick update on the Innovative Marine 100 gallon. I mainly, if you've been following along the channel, I've mainly been working on my son's water box. I've been focusing most of my attention on that one. So this one has not really had much attention at all. But a few things I wanted to share with you and thoughts that I have as well and changes I might make. You can see the Anthias kind of coming out and swimming. So I just put those in a while ago. This is Sunday night. I ordered them in sometime in December, I think, like the end of December. It was right at Christmas time. So I originally ordered 7 of those, and only 3 made it through quarantine. I've had Anthias in the past. It seems that I've always kind of had that luck with them to where whatever I order, I usually end up with about half of them surviving, which kind of sucks because they are rather expensive. And then, you know, it makes it that much worse if there's any kind of guarantee on them from wherever you get them from. You know, I might lose 1 or 2 initially, and then I always lose, you know, maybe 1 or 2 after the warranty period. And that was kind of the same case with these guys. But I have the 3 left that are eating very well and have done very well in quarantine. I think they're going to be fine. I think I had them in there for about a month. I usually quarantine anywhere from a couple weeks to a month. It just depends, you know, on how they look, how they're doing. I do medicate them the entire time. I normally use general cure, and depending on conditions, whatever else. So I did general cure for the first 5 days. Then I did a parasite treatment that does like worms and things like that, digestive. I did that for, it's only a 1 day, and then you can repeat it after 7 days. And then I run IM100 in there for a couple weeks. So after putting them through all that, they seem to be healthy. So I hope I've got anything knocked out that they could have been carrying or any issues, but time will tell. They're still kind of getting used to things. They've only been in here less than an hour now. So they're still a little skittish and checking things out, but we'll see how they do. So like I said, I got 3 of them, and we'll see how they make it in here. The clam, I wanted that guy originally up on this rock, and I moved him a couple different locations on it, and he wouldn't have it. He's kept turning over, and he knocked himself over down the sand, and he was face planted in it. Then I moved him over to kind of the right of where he is on that little rock ledge. And I think, you know, they pretty much can shoot out a gust of water to move. And I guess he did that and knocked himself over there. And I set him back up at a little bit different angle, and I came back in here, and then he was positioned right here. And he's been there now for a couple days, and he's opening up well and doing well. So maybe he'll make that his home. I didn't really want him directly on the sand bed. But I mean, if that's where he's happy, then I guess that's where he'll be. Let's see, other conversation about this tank. I've been doing research, and I regret not doing it to start with. I'm thinking about selling the Sapphire, is it 39, the trigger system sump that I have now. And I'm thinking about switching it out to a trigger platinum series with the roller filters or roller fleece. I've talked to some people that use that. Some people say once you start using that, you know, you can never go back to filter socks. You know, I have 3 filter socks on this unit. So after a week, the first one's usually full, and then the water's flowing over to the second one, and barely getting into the third. So I change them out once a week. So it's not like a big headache or hassle, but I've just been doing research and looking into the roller filters or roller fleece, whichever way you say it. And it just seems like it has a number of benefits to it, as far as like not only maintenance, but just, you know, how clear and clean it keeps the water and how good a job it does. So I'm thinking before I get any further with this tank that I will go ahead and switch that out and redo the plumbing, and then I'll get that in place, and then I'll probably keep the same skimmer that I have now. And then I'm thinking about adding also, instead of doing the algae reactor, I'm thinking about adding an algae scrubber. I've been looking into those as well, so we'll just have to see. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on the algae scrubbers. I don't really care too much to do the DIY stuff and make those type things. So I've been looking at the one, I forgot the brand, CRT or something like that, that they sell on bulk resupply. I'll probably go that route, but first I gotta, of course, switch out the sump. Let me know, anybody that has the Trigger Platinum Series sumps, if you have any like cons with those, let me know, because I've seen a few videos with them, but they're mainly from the manufacturer, BRS and stuff like that. I haven't seen a lot of just individuals that aren't being paid that have those. So, you know, if anybody does have one, let me know your thoughts and if it's worth it. I mean, it's a lot of money to drop on a sump, and that's initially why I didn't want to fool with it. But I am considering it right now. I should say strongly considering it. Like as of right now, I'm kind of planning on doing it. But, you know, if anybody has any valid issues with it, then, you know, might change my mind. So I guess the game plan would be, you know, to order that, get it in, switch it out, redo the plumbing, sell the Sapphire. And the Sapphire that I have is, I think it's 39 inches. I think on the Platinum, I'm gonna drop to 34, mainly because I have no space left in my cabinet. And I would like to have a little bit more space. And I thought, you know, the bigger sump would be the way to go. My last 100-gallon tank, I got, I think, a 30 or 32. It was the Crystal series. So it was plain Jane, might have been a 30. But I just kept thinking, you know, that it was too small and I wanted to get a bigger one. So this time my thinking was I'll go as big as I can fit in my stand. But now I'm kind of regretting it and wish I would have gotten smaller, because I don't have the need to put that much stuff in the sump, and I'm not running a refugium in the sump. So really all I'm putting in there is a media reactor and the skimmer. So it's kind of wasted space at this point. So I'm thinking when I go with the Platinum, then I'll downsize it a little bit. Like I said, drop down to, I think it's a 34, so I would gain, you know, 5 inches, which isn't a lot, but it might help me out a little bit as far as space goes. All right, let me show you in the cabinet for those who haven't seen. All right, so here's a shot in the cabinet, and I still haven't done any cable management or anything with the wires. Like I said, I wanted to get everything kind of situated before I really worked on cleaning all that up. So right now, like I said, I've got the Sapphire. It's got the 3 filter socks, which, like I said, it takes, you know, after a week, sometimes that first one's full, sometimes it's not, and it'll start trickling to the second one. The third one never really sees any water for the most part. And like I said, it's not that I'm being lazy and that I mind changing them out, even though some videos tend to state that filter socks are just awful and they hate them and don't like fooling with them and all that stuff. But protein skimmer is still working fine. It's still got it really like a wet skim right now. But you know, for as little as I have in this tank, I think that's really all that I get for the most part. I mean, I get some dark stuff. I hadn't cleaned the lid, so you know, that's why it looks like that. I wipe out the cup every time, but I don't actually clean the lid out. The Nios media reactor, just run carbon in that. Got the titanium heaters. Then of course the core pump from Neptune. This is that Dr. Tim's, whatever it is, waste away. Still kind of undetermined at this point whether I'm going to continue using that or not. It seems like on the water box it kind of helps things. On this one, you know, I don't really see a difference, but anyway. But this is what I'm talking about. So right now, I mean, what I have, like 4 or 5 inches or something like that. So I'm thinking if I got the next size down and had another 5 inches, you know, maybe it'll bring it back to here, which wouldn't quite give me a foot, but almost. I mean, and that'd be room maybe to put like my dosing containers or something like that in there. So I just think it would free up some space that I may need. And then I might go ahead, everybody. I know the big thing is all the Schedule 80 PVC and all that stuff. I might clean it up and make my plumbing look prettier while I'm doing it. I mean, I could care less about that part really, but you know, I've had a few comments about it and the shoddy white plumbing I have, and didn't really, you know, make it look that nice. So I might change that while I'm doing it. Anyway, let me know in the comments, you know, any thoughts that you have on it, you know, whether the pros and cons to both the filter rollers and then the algae scrubbers as well. You know, just any experience that you have, and whether you think I should or shouldn't do it. Some people say that when you go to the filter rollers, then you don't need as much filtration after that because they do such a good job. Some people say that you can, I think even on BRS said that you can downsize your skimmer because they work so effectively. But you know, as I progress with the tank, I kind of want to get everything equipment-wise set up first from the get-go, and then, you know, just really as I start packing in stuff, no, I don't want to say pack it, but when I start adding a lot more fish, and then when I start adding a lot more corals and things, I just want to have everything down here ready. So I'm trying to just get that part done so I won't have to make any more changes to it. And I mean, I've been happy with this sump, with the exception of where you see I put the silicone around the sock holder, because a lot of water was just going past that. So I did put silicone around that, and I mean, that's helped tremendously. And other than that, my only complaint about the sump is just that I got it too big. I mean, I got one that was too long, I think. So I just kind of regret that. I wish I would have gotten a shorter one, because look how much more room I still have in the skimmer section, and then look in that section, you know, where I'm just running the reactor. I mean, I've got several inches to spare there, several inches to spare there. So it's just a lot of wasted space. And I know it is more water volume, and that's what you want to go for. But I mean, I would like to also, at this point, kind of have some more cabinet space. Because right now my auto top off is in my crawl space of the house. And I mean, that's working fine, but I don't really want to put like dosing containers and things like that in the crawl space. I would rather keep that up here if I possibly can. So anyway, that's just, you know, kind of my thoughts. So let me know what you think. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate ahead of time, you know, any comments that might lean toward helping me and not just be negative criticisms of anything. And it's like I said and always say, if you want to help me grow the channel, please like and subscribe the video.